Hey guys, it's Keto Kaya. I'm back again. I'm in my pajamas. I know I'm a pajama girl. I'm a total pajama girl for sure. This video, I really wanted to make this video because I've really been like watching so many of these videos of ex-vegans, and I did not even know that there were videos out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? Like hearing other people's experiences, hearing the symptoms they had, what they went through, and everything. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is stuff that I went through. Like I'm so interested. So like now I really want to share my story here, um, of what I went through my 4 months on a vegan diet or whichever. I kind of had to write everything down to kind of have it in order and kind of remember everything, like, because it really messes with your memory. So I just couldn't even remember anything or concentrate. So I had to kind of like remember all this. So I first began getting interested in veganism, like, um, I kind of, I talked about how I lost my 60 pounds doing a vegetarian diet. I lost, with my weight loss and everything, I did the vegetarian. I lost weight. I kind of did that on my own. I didn't have anybody like telling me, oh, do this diet, whatever. I kind of just started just doing that. But I was also eating fish sometimes too, like shrimp and all that and whichever. So, yeah, so I decided I needed to stop soy and gluten. Soy was having bad effects with me, raising my blood pressure, giving me headaches, and all kind of stuff like that. And I decided, okay, you know what, I need to stop soy. Then I realized, okay, gluten, like I'm very allergic to gluten, have to stop that. So it was like, okay, you know what? I've lost this weight. I'm down to 200 pounds. Like, I'm going to have to stop doing vegetarian because gluten, I no longer can have that. And most vegetarian products are full of gluten. Because I would have like Morningstar Farms, I'd have Boca Burgers and all that kind of stuff. So I had to stop all that. With the soy and the gluten, it was just like, okay, I can't do this anymore. So I began to watch YouTube channels. Like I kind of just have YouTube channels pop up, and I'm kind of into looking up like different kind of things. I'm a researcher. I'm into different information and learning different things and like different kind of things like astrology and history and culture. Like I really wanted to learn about like myself and learn about my roots, my ancestry. I don't really know much about like I've never really known much about my roots and like ancestry and things like that and stuff. I've kind of, never really known much about it. So I was really interested. I started to watch Young Pharaoh's channel and I got really interested. I watched it, and he was talking about how, our natural diet that, Africans that we ate like just meat during the summer and then a vegan diet for the rest of the year. So I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. This sounds really like, okay, and he was also talking about how, like eating meat and stuff, like especially pork, how that can make, your spirit like, like dirty, I guess, as to say, like that, if you're like through a spiritual sense, like you want to get in contact, like let's say like talking spiritually, whichever, like spirits can't really get in touch with you if you have like meat in your system. And I understand that with the pork, so I stopped pork. Yeah, like pork I haven't had eaten in years. I don't mess with pork or whichever, and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, this is great. Like this is great information. Like this is awesome. I'm learning about like my roots and I'm learning about, oh my gosh, this is so cool. So I realized like, oh my gosh, like I've been eating wrong. Like that we really should be just eating vegetables at that. Oh my gosh, like that's my natural diet. This is so cool that I'm learning about this. This is amazing. So I began to just, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do this because I just feel like compelled to do this. Like this is something like, okay, this is amazing. I've never known about my culture. I've known, oh, okay, like, so I'm like, this is great. Okay, so the next thing I started to get the other vegan channels I started watching, they would pop up. I had the channel Sweet Potato Soul, Unnatural Chick channel, like Shine with Plants, the channel, like the lady has her baby, she feeds her baby a raw vegan diet and stuff. And I was also watching Fully Raw Christina, Infinite Waters Diving Deep. I also sometimes was watching the Nature Boy channel just to see, like, I was watching the consciousness channels. That's what I was watching, the consciousness channels. So, I just got really interested, and I was just listening to what people were saying. Like, people were saying how, okay, you get your body alkaline, like that's going to take away all your inflammation, that it's going to reverse your autoimmune disease, that you're going to get really healthy, it's going to detox like all this stuff out of your body. And I thought, oh, okay, this is great. Oh my God, this sounds so true. Like, it sounds like, okay, alkaline, like let me just get my body alkaline and let me have all this alkaline stuff. And yeah, this sounds like the answer. This is amazing. And I thought, okay, so I was really excited. So I went ahead and tried it. I brought all these vegan foods. I went to the store, got all this vegan stuff. I spent like a lot of money. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to do this vegan diet. I got to do it, but I can't have soy and I can't have gluten. So I'm going to need to figure out how I can do this. Okay, so I was like, okay, because I stopped eating that when I was a vegetarian. So I was like, okay, you know what? I guess that to do this, I found out, okay, I can have beans and lentils. That'll be like my only sources of protein and only sources of iron that I'll be able to have. So, so what happened was, it was like, okay, there weren't many options for me to eat in the beginning as a vegan, because most vegans are able to eat wheat, eat gluten and stuff, but therefore I was not able to, and I was not able to have soy, like tempeh. I can't have tempeh. I couldn't have any of these products at all. So it was really difficult, and I was starving because there was no options for me to have at all. Like, and to just every single day just eating beans, my gas was so bad. I was having terrible gas. I was farting all day, like, and it just smelled terrible. It was just awful. It was a nightmare. I was having that, and then I was having diarrhea. And so I, like, the first 2 weeks I was feeling amazing, great. Like, my energy was great, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm feeling so good. Like, I'm gonna tell everybody about this. So I was like telling people about this, like, oh, try this. Like, this is good. Yeah, this is a good idea. Try this. This is great. It's good for health, whichever. So I felt amped, and I almost felt in that like mania that these vegans get. I felt like that. Like, I felt like, oh my gosh, like this is the right way. This is the only way. This is the perfect way. This is exactly what we should be doing. Little did I know, those are the beginnings of malnutrition and your body being way too freaking alkaline. So when I would drink alkaline water, like doing this vegan diet and on top of all these alkaline foods, so the next thing I know is it's like, okay, wait a minute, like I'm twitching, like I'm having these symptoms that my body is too alkaline, but I didn't realize it. And it was like, okay, wait a minute, so here I am, now I'm starting to get into like a little bit of a psychosis here and everything. It's like, whoo. Okay, so then during the first month, I realized I was beginning to feel like weak and sick, and I was like, like, is this normal? Like, I kind of just looked it up, and I kind of thought, okay, maybe this is a detox. This is just like, like things are leaving my body, bad stuff and whichever. So I was like, okay, whatever, let's go, we'll see what goes on. Okay, so the next day, another first month, okay, so now my period starts, and I am somebody who has always had heavy periods. Like, even when I ate meat, like I still get anemic. Like, even eating meat, and it gets really bad. That's how bad my periods get. So I was kind of like, like, is this really like a good idea? Like, I'm kind of like risking myself here, like risking my health here. So I thought, okay, whatever. So it got worse and worse with each period, like, but yeah, with this first period started off, and it's like, okay, hold on a second, like, I'm having this crushing chest pain, this scary chest pain in my heart is racing. Like, when you have anemia, what'll happen is your heart will be racing, your heart rate is higher at a resting, position, or like doing little bits of exertion, your heart rate goes up higher and higher because you're not able to get the proper amount of oxygen. And I kind of could just feel that, and I could just feel like my organs just weren't getting enough oxygen. I just felt as though I just wasn't getting enough oxygen to my brain. My head was pumping and pumping. I was dizzy. I couldn't concentrate. Like, the anemia was just so bad that all I could do was just lay in a bed. And my chest was just crushing, and it didn't matter how much iron I took. I did what they would say, okay, load up on beans, load up on iron, and I'm like, okay, you know what, let me try this. And then it just would do nothing, absolutely nothing. It would do nothing whatsoever. Neither would the B12 supplements. None of the supplements would do anything. Like, I'd be taking the iron, it's like, okay, wait a minute, this didn't do anything. I actually feel worse. So during this time, actually, with this time of the period, this was, I was watching Fully Raw Christina. So I was watching Fully Raw Christina, and I was like, oh, okay, like, you know, let me watch this. This looks kind of cool. I mean, I think it's kind of cute, like these recipes she has, like these smoothies that are all colorful, and oh, it just looks so good. It's just like fruits and vegetables. Like, oh my God, like how easy could that be? Just like, I could just buy fruits and vegetables. I'll save money, and oh, this is just like amazing. Let me just go ahead and try this. Like, I'm listening to this. It's like, oh, okay, her health improved and all this, and okay, you know what? Let me go ahead and try this. So she was kind of pushing like, don't take any vitamins at all. Vitamins are unnatural. Just only eat the vegetables and the fruits. There was this one video that I saw. Yeah, she was like, don't take any vitamins. Just get it all from fruit and vegetables or whichever. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not really going to listen to that part. I already have anemia, so I'm going to just still go ahead and keep on taking vitamins, because if I don't take the iron vitamin, I'm probably going to just drop dead, like, or whichever. So let me go ahead and just keep taking it. So taking all that, I still just wouldn't feel good. And then during this time, in this period when I did this Fully Raw diet, that was when I almost fainted. My chest was killing me. My face was so broken out that I looked like, I don't even know how to explain it, like just so broken out. It was scary. It was like I had never seen before. I had never in my life had ever had a breakout like that, ever in my life. It was really scary, really scary. Like the things that I ate, I did the Fully Raw vegan for like a week. I did, and I would eat like for breakfast some fruit, and then I remember making this like beet taco salad. Like, you take like this recipe she had, like raw beets, and then you put like some nuts in it or something, and some cilantro and vegan raw sour cream, and then I tried this Alfredo like pasta. Like, you take like some raw garlic, mix that with like coconut milk and stuff, and put it onto some raw like zucchini noodles, and it's like an Alfredo. Like, so I tried all that, and it was like, okay, like I am feeling really scared right now. Like, I'm feeling like really malnourished, like anemic or something. So I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me stop doing this Fully Raw. I tried this for a week. I'm not gonna do this anymore. So I was like, okay, let me get off this Fully Raw. The Fully Raw, Christina. I'm getting off of this. I'm getting off of this thing here, or whichever. So I started listening to that. So I was like, okay. So I'm still having like all these YouTubes just popping up of vegan diet, vegan food, vegan this, vegan pages, and it was all popping up. That was all that I saw. That was all that I saw. I didn't see anything else. That was all that was popping up on my page, and I'm like, okay, this is just like, you know, like, okay. So, and then I started to feel like the moral feeling, like, okay, like, I'm so bad for eating an animal. Like, this is terrible. Like, this isn't what my culture, what we were made to be eating. Like, this, it just would be the guilt in my head. And I kind of just felt like, oh my gosh. And then, it was crazy. So I was like watching all these other YouTubes. There was this one YouTube I came across, and this woman was on here talking, and you know, it's really crazy, because I just noticed, like, with all of these pages, I would kind of notice like a craziness and like a mania and stuff. And she was like cussing and stuff, and she was cussing, and she was saying how, you know what, you all are so stupid, and you keep eating fucking meat, and you eat meat, and you know what's gonna happen? You're not gonna go to heaven because we can't save you. We can't save you if you eat meat. You're not gonna go to heaven. This and that, da da da, and just all. And I just was like, this is like really weird. Like, I don't know. I just kind of felt like, what? Like, hold on a second. So there's like, okay, that kind of got to me. I was like, okay, so it's just not adding up here. So, but that's like late. That part actually is like later on. But I'm in the middle of part. Let's see, we're on the part now where this is like month 2. Yeah, month 2. Okay, so I began to watch the Infinite Waters Diving Deep channel, and you know, I I still had like this guilty feeling of like eating meat and all this stuff and whichever. So I began to watch that YouTube, and I kind of thought like, oh my god, like this is cool, you know, like there's like these other things he's talking about, like self-growth and all these different things that sound really amazing, and they sound like, okay, this is, you know, help. This seems like it's helpful, like people, you know, these good tips, like things to help with confidence and all that kind of stuff. So I was watching that, and he really pushed for like the vegan superfoods, like the spirulina and the cacao and all that kind of stuff and all that. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe, you know, let me just try this again. You know, I just keep seeing this on YouTube. I just keep seeing it over and over. So let me just keep doing this. Let me just do this. You know, this seems to be like what the diet, like maybe people are realizing that, oh, okay, this is the diet that we're supposed to be eating. So I kind of thought, okay, this is the diet that I should be eating. So then it happened again. I got anemic again, and I began to feel like I shouldn't continue doing this, because it's like, okay, I have heavy periods. It's kind of putting me in danger. It's like the way I'm feeling so sick and stuff. But then I just thought to myself, in the back of my head, oh my god, like I need to keep pushing myself. Like I'm not supposed to be eating meat. I'm not supposed to be like eating it at all, or you know, like that's just so bad. And there's just this whole like negativity just surrounding it. So I was like, okay, you know what, like let me just keep doing it. So like I kept getting more and more and more anemic, so I just kept laying in the bed. Like all I could do was just lay in the bed. Even like getting up to walk a few steps was just so difficult. I would just be starving all the time because there was nothing for me to eat at all. Just absolutely nothing. And it just was all the sugar and the stuff. Like I just felt so bloated. I just felt huge, heavy. I just felt like I weighed like 1,000 pounds. And they had said how, oh, you're gonna get, you know, you'll feel spiritually lighter and all this. And it's like, hold on a second, but I feel like I weigh 1,000 pounds. I'm not losing 1 pound here, and I feel heavier. Like, why am I feeling this way? So I could barely walk. I became depressed. I was like nauseous. My teeth were killing me. Like it felt like all my teeth were gonna fall out, and that's how it felt every night. It was really, really scary. Like my teeth were just killing me. I didn't know what was wrong. I kind of thought like, this is so weird. Like, is this something, like, what is this related to? I became like irritable, depressed, paranoid. Like every little thing. Like I thought somebody was trying to kill me. I thought like I would have like these violent, weird thoughts. Like I would go into like these disassociations almost, where I was just like in this other world just of paranoid thinking. I had like this negative thinking, like delusions. It got really scary. It really did. Like just really weird stuff. It was crazy. So, one day, you know, with the anemia, the symptoms, I just had pain all over my body every single day. I just was suffering so bad, and I just thought, okay, you know what, I'm going to just keep pushing myself. I'm going to keep pushing myself for the animals. I'm going to keep pushing myself because what they're saying, and I felt like compelled just to do it, just to keep doing it, just keep pushing yourself. This is just symptoms. These are normal. Just push through it. That, you know, maybe I'm doing this part wrong. There's something else I'm missing or whatever. So I just kept doing it. So I just decided, like, one day I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to eat meat one day or whatever. Like, I just got to have protein for one day. You know, I'm still going to continue doing this vegan diet, but let me just have meat for one day. Because it's like, this is just, you know, the protein. I'm not really getting much protein, because then days when I don't want to eat beans, I'm not getting any protein at all. So basically the day I ate meat. So the next thing I know, like coincidentally, like this video pops up by Infinite Waters, and it was basically talking about like how to get iron on a vegan diet. Like he was saying, oh, you need to eat loads of spinach. Have the spinach and combine that spinach with strawberries, which is a lot of vitamin C. You know, like just little tips like that. Like just eat just more vegetables, just eat. So I thought, oh, okay, you know what? He's right. I'm doing this wrong. You know what? I'm not eating high enough iron vegetables. I'm not getting the right, doing this properly. I'm not mixing the vitamin C together with the iron. I'm doing this wrong. This is me. You know what? He's right. I'm doing this wrong. So I was like, okay, so let me try this. So I tried it. I continued it. I did it. And it was like, okay, so here I am. I'm combining the spinach with the vitamin C. I'm eating the higher iron lentils. I'm eating the higher iron beans. But I'm still feeling anemic, and I'm feeling even worse. And in combination with also taking synthetic iron vitamin pill, synthetic vitamin B12, and synthetic pills in combination together, I feel like I'm gonna die every single day. And I'm like, okay, so this obviously isn't working. So after that, I did that for about a week. It's like, okay, you know what? I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right now. My chest is hurting so bad from anemia. I'm so dizzy. I'm gonna have a steak tonight. So I had a steak. I felt tremendously amazing, tremendously better. But then I also kind of felt like guilt, because I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm still trying to do this vegan diet. Like, I'm still trying to, do this whatever. So I had that steak. So here's when the real mind control set in. So I opened up YouTube the next day, and there's a video from Infinite Waters or whichever. And the video, like, he's pretty much talking about how he loves, like, every single animal, and that each animal is precious, and how we shouldn't be killing animals. Like, basically how, like, not one animal's, like, better than the other or something, like, and that they're all equal. Like, basically, like, you're a murderer. Like, okay, you ate some meat, like, it just was like this cultish thing, and it made me feel so guilty, and that's what kept me trapped, because I felt so guilty. I was like, oh my gosh, like it made me feel guilty, but then in the back of my head I felt angry, and I also felt resentment. I felt coerced. I felt bullied. I kind of, the whole time doing the vegan diet, I felt as though I was being pushed into something that I never really wanted to do in the first place. And but then there was that moral part of, like, okay, the animals, and okay, like, this is how I'm supposed to be eating, like, with my roots and stuff, and like, okay, spiritually. And so I just, I just kind of felt, I started to feel like attacked. I just started to feel angry. I just kind of felt bullied into it all. And I just kind of felt that some of the things that they're saying just weren't making sense to me. They just weren't, like, adding up together. Like, it just wasn't making any sense. And I started to notice, like, little things and stuff. But at the time, because I was so, like, brainwashed, like, I didn't realize, like, these little things that I was seeing. And, there's just some really odd behaviors and things going on. Like, for instance, like with the Infinite Waters page, like, on his page, like, most of his videos, like, he would come and then he would do this thing with his head where he would put his head like this, and then he would turn to the side, and then he would go, slow motion this side. And I kind of just thought to myself, like, what is this? Like, what the fuck? Like, hold on a second. Like, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of you at all, but it's just like, I kind of was like, huh? Like, what is this? Like, it almost seemed like, now that I'm looking back at it from the, because I didn't realize this at the time, I'm kind of like, it kind of made me feel like, okay, is this now I feel as though when I look back, yeah, is this some kind of a mind control cue, or is this some kind of a demonic possession that it just is something spiritual going on here that I have realized. It just is really something like a possession. It just was really scary. Like, these videos of these vegans, you'll look at them and then they'll seem so robotic. The robotic behavior, it's like you're just in this different realm or something. It just was so weird, and I kind of was like, this is really just so weird. So, I just kept on with it. I felt so malnourished. I still sometimes ate dairy a little bit or whichever, but I felt like really malnourished. I just still continued watching the, like, vegan pages and stuff, and I felt so crazy, ungrounded. I just felt malnourished. I felt so unhealthy. I just was really unhappy, really depressed. I had constant diarrhea. My stomach was so distended that it looked like I was pregnant. It made it look like I, like, was pregnant. And it was really scary. And then on the let's see, on the second, third month, I just was like, okay, let me, was eating like cooked vegan stuff and stuff. Like I would eat like eggplants, like this eggplant cooked with zucchini, eggplant cooked with tomatoes and garlic and chili peppers, just a fucking load of nightshades, just like 2 eggplants combined with like 3 tomatoes, garlic, chili peppers, just this meal that's just a load of nightshades, just absolutely. So I'd eat this, I would feel so psychotic, I would feel so paranoid, delusional, like almost like hallucination. So I would eat it, and then my inflammation, boom, like my joints would be so bad from the nightshades. My stomach would be burning from the nightshades. Like, my video of nightshades, it's terrible. And you eat too many nightshades, you go into a psychosis, and that's part of what's going on with these vegans. And it's really bad. It got really, really bad. So, I just kept watching it, kept eating it, eating it. I was like, okay, this is great. Like, look at these recipes and all this. And so, I was watching like Shine with Plants, that channel. This woman is feeding her baby like raw vegan foods, like only giving the baby like cashew milk, mangoes, bananas, and all this stuff. And it's just kind of like in the back of my head, I just knew, I'm just like, this just doesn't seem right to me. Like, to me, a child should have a choice, like whether they want meat or vegetables, and this isn't really enough protein, micronutrients, fats to sustain this child to grow properly, to function properly, to have brain function. And I just kind of thought, like, this is just a little weird. I understand, like, adults eating vegan, okay, yeah, that's your choice, you're an adult, you eat vegan, but to make your own child eat vegan, I never really agreed with it, but I was still watching the channel because I just felt like, okay, you know what, these recipes look so good. I thought, okay, that baby looks so happy and healthy, like they look really healthy and all that stuff and all that. But, looking at them now, fast forward looking at it, I have looked at it and I've seen like they look completely different from when I looked at it back then. Like I can see the months and the months and the time. I could see the time frame of malnourishment. I see their faces, they have lost like all the color in their skin, which is exactly what happened to me. And, the thing is, with melanin, like you need cholesterol, you need vitamin D, you need iron, you need copper, you need like all of these things. And without them, like you just lose all of your color. You're draining yourself of everything that you need. Like I was pale like a ghost. I was like, okay, my pigment, like I'm losing my pigment. I'm losing what makes me up. I'm losing my own self. Like it just is crazy. It's like I don't have the minerals and the cholesterol I need, like everything that's needed, and that's what happens. And so it's like, okay. So I began to watch the Nature Boy channel. I didn't subscribe, but I watched. And I really began right there to kind of know, that really kind of just gave me like the 100% like kind of information that I really needed. Like, okay, like these vegans are a little bit like psychotic here, like a little bit crazy. Well, not a little bit, like a lot. So I watched it and I just began to think like something was really like odd to me. I just kind of felt like, there was just like this arrogance surrounding these pages. This arrogance, this kind of cockiness, arrogance, and this kind of like godlike, like it's almost like they get into this omnipotence, like this godlike kind of psychosis. Like, the whole thing was, it just is crazy. Like, just seeing what I saw, just seeing whatever. And so, like, the things, I just look at it and, everybody's out there, they're living off the grid and all this stuff. They're like, okay, we're living naturally. And it's kind of like, I've always wanted to live natural. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I'm looking at this, whatever. But then again, like, I'm looking at, okay, like, this is crazy. Like, the way that this guy's, like, screaming, like, running around, like, and I don't know. I just find, like, I just see, like, a mania almost. Like, it's just crazy. So, and right then and there, I kind of, like, just thought about it. I kind of thought, like, you know, why are we eating a diet of a monkey, like a primate? Like, you're eating a diet of a primate. You're eating bananas and all this fruit and all this stuff like you're a monkey. And it's basically like turning you into a monkey. Like, it's turning these people into monkeys. Like, their brains are becoming like monkey minds. Like, and that's kind of like how I began to feel. And I kind of thought to myself, okay, like, you know, we're like, I'm eating a diet like my DNA is like of a primate or something. Like, it's just, I just kind of just started to feel like this just isn't making any sense. And I kind of just thought about like, okay, like, what about like people like hunted back then, like hunted meat, hunted and stuff. And I kind of thought like, okay, like, this is so like weird. And there was also like this polygamy thing going on in this thing. And I guess like some women left, like, and they were like all eating fruit, and like, it just was weird. I don't know. So I was like, okay. And then some stuff happened, I guess, like with the van and some other stuff, whatever. But I mean, a lot of other people know that story if they know like the Nature Boy story or whatever. So, okay. So that was the time I was watching then. I don't know what's going on with that all now, but I'm just saying, like, this is like what happened. This is during the 3 months I did vegan, and this is what happened. So, here I was watching even more vegan propaganda, like channels would pop up, more brainwashing, and I just was like, okay, you know, I just kind of felt, coerced, still, like, I guess it was just at the time I wasn't sticking to my guns like I usually do, like stick to, hey, I have my own view, I'm sticking to my own view, like I didn't stick to that like I should have back then. Like, okay, you know what, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with this, like, whatever. It was kind of like, I don't know how I just fell into this. It was crazy because, like, this is so weird. Like, this isn't like me. So, okay, so let's go to the 3rd month I did vegan, the final month that I did this shit. So I began to watch this Sweet Potato Soul channel, which is like vegan channel, whatever. And I thought, oh, okay, this is cool. This looks easy. This looks, healthy. I'm just going to keep on doing this even, like, I'm just going to keep doing it because, this sounds healthy, whatever. So I just kept thinking I wasn't doing it right. I just kept like giving it a try. Okay, I'm not doing this right. So, I would still have a day that I'd cheat because I couldn't sustain it. So I had a day like, okay, let's say have some chicken or something one day. So then the next day, like, I opened up the YouTube and it was like magic, like a video showing what she ate in a day, like the food, like, she ate in a day. So like the breakfast was like carb, like it's all high carbs in the vegan diet. It was like potatoes for breakfast, and then for the lunch was like a salad, like just a salad by itself or something. And then the dinner, I vividly remember the dinner, it was like kidney beans and rice, like some kind of a like vegan jambalaya something. And she was basically stating like, okay, this is enough protein. Like, she was showing like all the protein that she got during the day, like with her meals and stuff. And like, she's like, okay, this is enough protein. Like, this is enough protein and enough iron for you to sustain yourself. Like, basically like, okay, like, you're just doing this wrong. Like, you've been doing this wrong. Here's how you need to do it. Like, and I kind of felt like, okay, like, and it's like, oh, I just have a banana for a snack. Like, this is like, I just kind of felt like, okay. So I go ahead and I eat these beans and rice. Like, I'm just eating this fucking beans and rice for every meal. Basically, like, beans. Like, my meal would be like black beans, plantains, like a piece of eggplant, some rice. That would be like a dinner or lunch. And then to go ahead and then for dinner, having some rice and some kidney beans. That was like the meals that I'd be eating and that I ate. So it's like, okay, so you're telling me that I'm getting enough protein, enough iron from these beans, but why is my skin saying otherwise? Why are the symptoms saying otherwise? Why am I still feeling anemic? This is not working. So obviously it's not working because here we are eating beans. Beans have fiber. The fiber actually lowers the iron absorption. So here is where the problem is lying in. So I just started to begin to feel really irritated. I was getting sick of this vegan shit. I was really starting to get really irritated now, and it just was like, this is just getting crazy. So I just watched the channel, the Sweet Potato channel, Sweet Potato Soul channel, where I was watching this one video, and this is where I just was like, okay, you know what, I'm kind of done here. So I watched this video, and she was like, this video was titled, "I'm going to turn my wedding planner vegan." Like, so this video is like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to turn my wedding planner vegan. I'm going to, let me just turn as many people as I can vegan. Who cares what they say? Who cares what they feel? Who cares what is healthy? Like, it's just like, I feel like it's just like this chain of just people trying to just like sign you up to become vegan, like sign you up, whatever. But little do they know, it's like, there's like basically like this little missing, like when you buy a car, like fine print, like this is, do this vegan diet, sign up for this, but fine print should say your teeth are gonna rot, you're gonna get anemia, your joints and bones are gonna freaking break down from no calcium, you're freaking loading yourself up with loads of nightshades. So it should say all of those things in a disclaimer, right? So it's like, I just kind of started to just feel like, okay, dude, like, seriously, like, what is your fucking agenda? Like, I just started to feel like, okay, why are they trying to, like, push and turn so many people vegan? Like, what is the true agenda? Like, why are you going to try to take somebody and change them? It's like, I started to feel like it was, like, religion. Like, like, Jehovah's Witnesses, like, knocking at your doorstep. Like, like, or, oh, turn this religion and do that. I feel like it's kind of like they're like trying to turn people into what works for them. Like, this personally works for you. Why try to force others to try to be doing what works for you instead of just letting somebody else do what works for them or deciding what works for them? But instead, like, they're using guilt, they're using emotions, mind control, and all these tactics to brainwash people into being vegan. So now I also want to talk about the time that I did it. Like, I had like all these weird mental things going on. Like, it was really scary. It was I'm telling you that this whole vegan this shit was a spiritual experience, okay? Like, this was some crazy shit. So I did this, so I'm doing the vegan diet. For some weird reason, I started watching like tarot videos, like tarot cards, like this like general readings that are for everybody or whatever. So I became like addicted to watching those at the time because all I could do was lie in the fucking bed anyways because I was so fucking weak and anemic. So I became addicted. I was watching this channel, this Your Angelic Karma channel. Like, I'd be watching that, and so it'd just be about like spirituality, like things like that or whichever, like soulmates, twin flame, like stuff like that. And she would push also for like a vegetarian vegan diet. Like, she was saying like, oh, like if you're thinking about vegetarian vegan diet, that would be a really good choice, and that your guardian like spirits will be watching over to like this and that. And I thought, okay, like whichever. And then sometimes, like, I'd watch these videos, like these tarot videos, and then like I would just feel like whatever general they were saying, like whatever, like I would take it personally, and I would feel like it was like being directed towards me personally, and I would get like really pissed off. I would be like depressed. I was angry, hopeless, like ungrounded. Like, I just felt crazy. I felt like so mentally unstable that it wasn't even funny. I was going bonkers. I was going crazy. I felt nuts, like absolutely nuts. So what a tarot. So I'll tell you another crazy tarot page situation. So I'm like on this tarot page, I'm looking at this other tarot page or whatever. So there's this like tarot reading and whatever. So the girl's saying, she says to me that if I want to meet, like, because like I was single for a while and I was trying to date and everything, whichever. So she was saying, oh, if you want to meet somebody, if you want a boyfriend, like, you need that, he wants you, a husband, boyfriend, whatever, like, he wants you to eat a vegan diet. So once you eat a vegan diet, they're going to come into your life, that they'll appear. And it's fucking crazy. It's not fucking crazy, right? So, like, me, like, being as brainwashed as I was like, oh, okay, like, this is cool. So let me just, like, I'm going to do this. Let me just do this. And then, yeah, eventually he'll appear. Yeah, huh. So I kept doing that, kept doing the vegetarian, whatever, vegan. it was like, this is bullshit, whatever. It's like, I knew it was bullshit, like, in the back of my head, but then part of me was kind of like a little bit like, oh, okay, that's like, let me just try this. Maybe I'll meet, like, a guy, whatever. It's like, total, like, agenda. It's just so silly. It's crazy. So, like, I continue to do it following that. So, here's where the hospital part comes in. So, I began to just keep doing it, whatever. So, I could feel my head pumping, my heart racing so much. I felt so much chest pain. It was so scary that I had to go to the ER hospital. So, I go to the ER, I get, like, EKG, like, tests done and all this stuff. So, they're like, you almost are, like, having a heart attack almost, like, or like little mini heart attack or something like that, like basically kind of a thing, like heart murmurs or whichever. That's how bad it got. And I was like, oh shit, like this is crazy, like, are you serious? So, like, he prescribed me like Klonopin or whatever or some shit, like that was supposed to like stop the heart murmurs. I'm like, okay, that's weird. I mean, they didn't really, like, explain it well, but it was like, okay, whatever, this shit is gonna kill me. Okay, so I'm not taking these pills. Hell no, I'm not doing this, whatever. I'm just gonna you know what? This is like, I gotta stop this shit. It's like, I am going to die if I keep doing this, like, seriously. Like, that's how bad the anemia can get. Anemia can get that bad to where you can have a heart attack or you can just die. Like, seriously. And they're doing this. They're pushing women to do this. Women who are menstruating, who are already in the situation where they're already anemic from their periods, and they're going ahead and pushing them to do this, risking their lives, just like they risked my life. And that's why it's so important to talk about this, because it's absolutely crazy. So, like, more of a spiritual thing. It's just, I just kept feeling pushed and pushed and pushed. So first, they came into my dreams. So I kind of always felt like with the dreams going on during the vegan diet were so crazy that I felt like it was like a possession, almost like it was like a spiritual attacks, like in the dreams. So once I stopped, like, I first had this dream, and it was this dream one night, and it was after I had stopped watching the urine gel karma page. I kind of was getting away from all that or whatever. So I had this dream, and it was this dream, like, we were just talking to each other, and she was just sitting at the desk at this computer. It's kind of like what the video was or whatever, what the YouTube videos would be, whatever, like that. So she's talking to me, and she asked me, she's like, oh, she was like, so, I was gonna ask you, so, have you tried a vegan diet? Like, how come you don't eat a vegan diet? And I told her all the symptoms. I remember in the dream just saying, it gave me a terrible headache. It's giving me these awful headaches and this and that, and explained that to her. And then she started, so in the dream, she was like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand. And she started to talk, I just remember a computer screen being in front of me, and then she started to talk about Prince. And it was so weird to me, and I kind of thought, what? That's weird. So she was saying to me, she was like, yeah, Prince was on a vegan diet. She was speaking all about Prince, and I remember in the dream kind of thinking to myself, oh, okay, well, I mean, okay, I don't know much about Prince. I mean, I know his music, but I mean, I don't know, whatever. So that was that dream. So it was like, okay. So then I would have these other nightmares where I was being attacked, harmed, like night terrors on the dream, like when I was doing it, whichever. Like, it was terrible. And I also was beginning to hear like voices, I felt like. So I feel like I could like telepathically almost hear anybody's voice who I was near or coming in contact with or whichever. Like, I would go past somewhere one day. I remember going like past a few places, and I could feel like I was hearing like the N-word being said to me, like dumb, like just weird kinds of things. It's almost like you could hear them. Sometimes I remember like being in the kitchen or being in the bathroom, like different places, and just hearing like just negativity, like negative stuff, like really bad stuff. And I began to lose touch with reality. My stomach was so distended because I didn't lose any weight. I lost no weight at all. I gained weight. I was 270 pounds. So, I looked like I was 9 months pregnant. I began to have this sick delusion. This is how bad this vegan diet gets. I began to have the delusion that I was pregnant. I began to believe that I was carrying a baby. That's how dangerous, how delusional, how sick this diet is, that how damaging. And the crazy thing is that they would always be talking about, okay, like you do this vegan diet, you're going to be so woke, you'll be seeing things better, you're going to see everything, it's going to just open your eyes up. I thought I was awoke. I thought, oh, I'm awake, I'm awoke, I'm seeing everything for what it is, whatever. No. I'm awoke now as I'm doing the proper diet, getting the proper nutrients that I need within my body for my brain to fucking function. So I decided one day to stop. I wasn't going to sit here and torture myself anymore. I was just like, you know what? I'm finished. I said I thought I'd eat meat, vegetarian, mostly do like a flexitarian, whatever. I still felt like weak and sick or whichever, like, but I was like, better days that I ate meat, I kind of felt, but then I still kind of feel like a little bit of guilt due to like all the ingrained brainwashing, I felt like. So I was just, I've started to get back. I think for a few days I ate meat. I was like, oh fuck, like my anemia is so bad, so I'm gonna eat red meat for the next couple days because I need to restore my iron, because it's like, this seriously, like my heart's at risk, like my oxygen in my brain's at risk, like my body's at risk. So the next thing that happens, I go to YouTube, I open up my YouTube, and then here there is a video right here. So there's this guy, young black guy, he had pants on, just these sweatpants or whatever, no shirt on. He's pale as fuck. His bones are popping out of his rib cage, and he's in the video, and he's saying, he said in the whole video, the video's just saying, you're eating meat because there's a parasite in your system causing you to crave meat, and that's why you're eating meat or whichever. And I just thought to myself, like, this is fucking crazy. Like, are you serious? Like, his hair was all, like, some of the videos, like, I don't know, their hair is just, like, they haven't combed it for, like, days or years. I don't know what's going on. Just some crazy shit. I just felt like there was just all this negativity just surrounding me. I just felt judged. It was just judgmental. And, like, I looked more into his page, and I think, like, he used to be, like, with Nature Boy or whichever, something. And, I mean, it's really sad because it's like, these people are so frail. They're so malnourished. They're so unhealthy, but they just don't even see it because the delusions are so severe that they think that they're healthy. They think that meat is unhealthy. They're giving you this false delusion to believe that meat's unhealthy, which is a total brainwashing mess. And it's just, so the brainwashing didn't stop there. So the attacks didn't stop there. Like, once I left, it's like, okay, so this cult is like, they're like after me now. So basically, like, I'd go onto my Pinterest, I'd open up my Pinterest, and then the Pinterest will have things saying like, oh, like, you're an animal murderer, or, oh, like, you're eating meat, like, every animal counts, and all these different kind of things on my Pinterest. And I started to feel like I almost was gonna delete my Pinterest because it's like, I felt so bullied and so pressured and bullied that I just felt like, oh my gosh, like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is so crazy. It's like, you're calling it animal murder. Like, I barely even eat meat, like, because I was doing I stopped doing that. I was doing vegetarian diet and just eating meat sometimes. And it's like, but I'm an animal murderer even though I'm like barely eating meat. So it was like freaking crazy. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm completely done. And the best thing that ever happened to me was finding out about the keto diet and getting on the keto diet, because it saved my life. Because had I had kept down that path of eating that vegan diet, I would have been dead. I really was close to death. Every day I felt like I was on my deathbed. And it's so dangerous. It's really dangerous, and they don't really realize the lives that they are risking, the countless number of lives that have already been lost, that are being risked, the permanent damage that people are causing to their bodies by listening to this misinformation that they're spreading around. And it's really sad because, they're giving this misinformation to have people think, oh, okay, like, this is spiritual, like, oh, it's gonna do this. They'll take anything and they'll make it sound so good to trick people. And it's like, I have seen people do this diet and really just, like, lose all their color. Like, Black people. I'm talking about like Black people like me. Like, I love this show, Little Women. There's a show that I watch, Little Women. I don't know if you guys know Little Women Atlanta. I watched that show, Little Women Atlanta, and I was following Miss Juicy on Instagram for a while, and this was the time when I was kind of doing the vegetarian thing, whichever. So I had seen her, like, she was getting on a healthy diet. She was eating low carb diet. Like, she was starting to get on like a healthy plan and all that stuff. So I was watching that, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so good. Like, those, looks really good, whichever. Good healthy meals and stuff. So then I had noticed instantly, like, she started to quickly change vegan. I think that some people must have started to talk to her and talk her into the vegan diet or whichever, because that's what they're doing. They're going around, they're trying to talk as many people as they can into that shit. So I had looked at it, and because she was posting photos of her meals and stuff, like her low carb meals. So she started to post meals of vegan meals, and I had seen that she would have a meal. I saw one meal I remember seeing was rice, broccoli, and, like, just a plate full of vegetables, and then the grains and stuff. And I had seen it, I had watched it, and I had watched through the months. I had seen through the months and seen the food, and then I had looked at the picture of her from when she started, and then I had looked at the picture from the time from when she was on the vegan diet, and I had seen all the color. Most of the color had drained from her skin. She looked absolutely completely different, because you need cholesterol, you need iron, you need all these different things for melanin. You need all these different minerals and nutrients and stuff. And yeah, so that's what I had seen. I don't know if she's still on the vegan diet. I don't know what's going on now. I haven't been on Instagram. I haven't been on there, whichever. But I see this going on a lot in the conscious community, like the Black community. It's going on too, where they're telling you to eat a vegan diet. Okay, this was not the original diet that we ate. We didn't eat a full vegan diet. That's just unsustainable. Your body was not meant to be eating a long-term vegan diet. Like, it never ever was built for that. And it's sad, because they're giving this misinformation. People are really, like, listening to it. They're falling into the trap, easily falling into the trap, because they make it sound so good. They make it sound so like it's natural. And on top of that, also, we have some things like in health saying, oh, meat clogs arteries and all this stuff, like cheese clogs arteries and all this stuff. And it's just really bad, because on the vegan diet, you're really eating the artery clogging stuff. Peanuts, like all these loads of nuts and things, and it's really, really bad. And it's really sad, because it's just, they're talking people into these high carb, deadly deficient diets, and they're taking people they're going to people who are already overweight, who are already struggling with insulin resistance, who are already struggling with glucose, and then they're going and they're telling these people to do this diet. They think that, oh, okay, this is what I need to do, that this diet, this is going to be the right way for my health, to lower my blood sugar, this and that, whatever. And then, in turn, they're putting that person at risk for heart attacks, for different kinds of things. Having a lot of sugar in your diet, that also affects your heart disease, all different kinds of things going on and stuff. So I just wanted to really share my vegan story of my experience that almost cost me my life, and that caused me to lose, like, basically, like, 4 or 5 months of my life and it's really sad, because it's like, looking back, it's like, okay, I wish I had done just a little bit more research into it, just a little bit more at the time. But and it really is a learning experience. It's been much of a learning experience. And I see what's happening with it all, and other people are going through this. They're learning that, oh, okay, you know what, this isn't the right way, that this isn't healthy, that this isn't working, and this isn't what's going to sustain me, and that this is costly to my health. And so I just really wanted to wrap it up at that. I really wanted to just share. And I found it's important to share, because it's so important, because it's like, I wouldn't want anybody to ever be in the situation I was in, where you're having your life put at risk. Like, I don't want to see a woman go on this diet, and then they're also having heavy periods, menstruating, whatever, and then they're just being so bullied, coerced into doing this diet, and then they end up having a heart attack from anemia being so severe, like fainting and cracking their head open, or there's so many things that can happen. It's really sad. It's really scary. So, yeah, I know this has been a long video. So I really, if you guys have any questions, you can always like ask me like in comments or whichever. Yeah, so that's my experience, and I just really wanted to share.